Hi everyone, it's Alicia Plosz, Mrs. Curve Globe. I am the reigning international Curve Queen, and welcome to Body Confidence, where we learn to embrace thy beautiful selves, whatever that looks like. I'm super excited today. It's my very first IGTV live, and I'm so happy that you guys get to be here with me. For those of you that don't know, I am Canadian, and today is Canada Day. So I thought it was only fitting that my very first guest be Canadian, also to share about Canada and about body confidence. Good morning and happy 153rd birthday, Canada. I wanted to say that because the year is important. So feel free to ask questions and talk to us as we go. My guest today is beautiful and talented, and I am so super excited for you guys to get to know her. I don't want to tell you too much about her at the beginning. I want her to fill you in on her little details. So Tetyana and I both have had the honor of representing Canada on the international stage in Palm Springs, her as Mrs. Canada Classique 2017, and then me the following year as Mrs. Canada Curve, where I went on to win the title of Mrs. Globe Curve. So we're going to invite Tetyana to join us. You guys are going to love her. She's amazing. So fun. So fun. So today,
Oh my God. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Happy Canada Day.
Yes, happy Canada Day to you as well.
Do
I
you
like that
hear
we
me
met.
well? Do you hear me well?
I do hear you well.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. You can hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Perfect. Excellent. So I want you to start by telling a little bit. I'm going to talk about you as well because I love you, but I want you to tell a little bit about who you are and all about you. You know you better than I know you.
Yeah, I'm sure for 49 years, I think I know myself a little bit. So my name is Tetyana Golota, and I live in province of British Columbia in Canada. You're in Alberta. We're kind of neighbors.
Yeah.
I've been immigrant into this country for about 22 years now. So we moved here that long ago. My son grew up there. We built our careers. We bought a house, everything. We settled in Canada. That's our home. We love it, especially those days right now. That,
Yeah.
as you know, we're probably the safest country at this moment. So, my education, if you go back, because I just did post a little while ago talking about why did I do the pageant or why did I enroll in pageant. I never want to be a princess. I never want to be a queen. I was engineer and a tomboy. That's what I wanted to be. I want to build. I want to construct something like, bookworm or so. So I graduated with education. I have a master's degree in engineering. That's my background. I grew up in that industry since I was a baby because my mom was in it. And my father is retired captain, so I kind of grew up by the sea, which is lovely too. That's a little detail about me. But I also grew up with my grandma, and I learned a lot of stuff about sewing and designs and things like that she did for the whole village. She was doing wedding dresses and things.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know where that's where you got your. That's so cool.
That's my background kind of from home. And a few years back, I had a very good, successful career. Everything was going well. But I was also, as a little squirrel, going in a circle, trying to get a better house, better this, better that, better salary, better position. And then I got sick, and I was diagnosed with brain tumor. So I had to go through the surgery, and that changed my life. I got exposed. I got introduced more into the community stuff while I was sitting at home, recovering from the surgeries. I got to participate in the community events and elections and local politics, to say, or little things that were more of family-oriented and stuff like that. So with that, I was introduced also, we created a program called She Talks. It's like TEDx, but we were doing talks for women. Through that She Talks, with my speech, sharing my story, I had local girls from our provincial pageant kind of approached me and said, you have amazing outlook. You should participate in the pageant. And I was
Had you
laughing
done
at
a
them.
pageant prior to that before? Had you ever done a
No,
pageant?
never.
Okay.
Never. As I said, I was a tomboy, more
Yeah.
of an engineer, right? Career
Perfect.
builder, all of that. So this is what happened, and I was laughing at them and saying to them, you guys are so funny, who does the pageants at 44?
Right.
But apparently age is not a
Age is
restriction.
no.
So
Beauty
I look
has no
into,
age.
yeah,
That's right. Yes.
I look into it more, and I saw that there is a support of the charity, and we were supporting Cops for Cancer. So I enter, and through the 3 or 4 days of the pageant, I learned lots of workshops and introduced to a new kind of a circle of
It
women
opens you to
who
a
were
new
there.
world.
And then I took the crown, and I was so
Right.
surprised because that was unbelievable. It's
Amazing.
just somebody needs to show you that you're better than you think you are, and
Yes.
you can bring something to the table that you did not know you have.
Exactly. It gets you to level up and be a little bit more committed to empowering yourself and empowering the people around you, right?
Yes, exactly.
I agree 100%. So you were Mrs. British Columbia, representing your province in 2015.
Yes.
And then for Mrs. Globe. So then 1 year later, you went back and competed again in Mrs. Globe as Mrs. Canada Classic 2018, right?
Yes.
And then now 1 more year, you decided to come back because you're awesome and beautiful and smart and talented, as we just heard, and come and join as Mrs. Ukraine Curve'.
Yeah.
So it was the very first last year, was the very first debut of the inaugural, yes, of the Curve division. So you had competed as Mrs. British Columbia and then as Mrs. Canada Classic. And for those of you that don't know, there's the Mrs. Globe, which is from 22 to 45. Mrs. Classic is 45 and older, and the Curve is size 12 and up. And so there is a platform for every division. So you have honored every platform.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That's amazing. And so, what went through your thought process when the Curve brand opened up and you were approached to maybe compete again? What made you go from, because you could have competed in Classic again if you chose to, but you joined me and we went to Classic, or to Curve from your Classic the year before. What was your thought process on that?
Remember school days when you come back to grade 8 or 9 or something like that, and you're the tallest in the class, or the boys are shorter than you, and you're the biggest girl because over the summer you suddenly grew up. I felt like I did not fit in the category, even though it was my age category.
Right.
But I did not fit in that category because not only that I cannot work out to be the size or body shape to fit in that frame, you know, because I can't. I live with disability, as I said, because I had a brain tumor and all of those sudden health changes. So for me, it was more of I was coming as alumni that year just to support women that I know from the pageant, and I loved it. So it was unbelievable, right? But alumni mean you already competed and you're part of the Mrs. Globe family.
Perfect. Just for anybody watching who didn't know what that meant, I just wanted to fill them in. Keep going.
We call it Globet sisterhood, right?
Yes, it is a sisterhood.
So when I saw the Curve division was opening up, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic, because I do fashion and I model at the Fashion Week as a plus size model. And there is not much representation of women our shape and size on the runway. It's usually, oh, sorry, we don't need you because this year there is no designers who bring those clothing to show, represent on the runway. So it's kind of, I thought that, yeah, why not? If I've done it, BC, British Columbia Globe, if I've done Classic, this is the perfect place for me to be in the Curve division, because my curves are here to stay. They're not going anywhere.
Right. And why should they?
Yes, exactly.
Be you.
I mean, you know, you work, not work hard. you try to eat healthy, you try to look
Right.
after yourself, but there are certain limitations that you cannot do. And that's
Right.
why you're in that category, not something else.
Right. And what's nice is like you want to be your best self and put your best face forward and be healthy and be happy, but you don't want to alter who you are to represent a false you on stage
That's
either.
right. Exactly.
Right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you cannot go to the gym or do something that is, it's not just not your nature, but physically you can, mentally you can, you just cannot. And there's
Right.
so many women, as we know, North America, for example, we have 70% of women sizes 12 plus.
Right. Like
So
consider,
the
technically,
representation, the
12 is
representation
average.
of them is not there. So I'm glad we have
Exactly.
this little niche to do that and show the world that you can be so pretty wearing your curves on the runway.
It's 100% true. I agree with you. So, like in North America, the average woman is size 8 to 12. That's average. So technically, in the pageant world, Curve starts at size 12, and in the real world, you're just an average person at a size 12, right? But it's a different perspective for someone to see you. So, like when I competed in China as Mrs. Globe,
Yeah.
I was one of the bigger girls there, and I was actually 10 pounds heavier than I was when I competed for Curve'. But I didn't think that I was any different competing in China than I was when I competed in Palm Springs for the Curve' title, but it gave everybody else a different platform to see me as beautiful in a different way, because they might not have noticed me before, right?
Yes.
And I feel like that's nice. It's a nice way to see it, is I never saw anything wrong with me. It just changed people's perspective of me. Same as you. Right? It gives you,
True.
and also it's very empowering just to be who you are and not feel like you have to change. Because like you had said, you do have some limitations in exercise and physical because you have fibromyalgia, right?
Fibromyalgia, yes, and arthritis too. Mm-hmm.
And arthritis, right?
Yeah.
So when we were talking, you had said that when you competed prior, you were working out, and it was causing you extra stress. Do you feel when you competed this time, because you were still walking and being healthy, but you didn't have to alter your body as much, did you feel personally that it was easier mentally on you or physically on you?
It was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think pageants should be stressful. It should be enjoyable, because you're representing who you are inside, and that should shine through, instead of being like a crazy person on the runway not knowing what you're doing because you're trying to show off something. Pretending
and everybody
not me.
in different situations. Like I'm competitive to a point, but I really like to be able to have something to eat and not be hangry, because no one likes me when I'm hangry.
Hangry, that's the word, hangry.
Right? If I was hungry, I might be angry. So where I felt like I worked out and I upped my game and I was changed my weights and I was doing more physically to get ready for the pageant so I could put my best self forward mentally, physically, emotionally. But I also felt like I could still be me and I could still bring myself to it without altering who I was. And I really, really appreciated that, and being able to walk in a lot more confident, I felt. Did you find that as well?
Oh, absolutely. As previous pageants, when I was preparing for Mrs. Canada Globe in Regina, we had 2018, when I was representing my province. I worked hard, so hard. I was working out, eating like limited calories a day, because you're going from provincial, which you've done first time, then you're going to a national title. You kind of like, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know. That was experience too. I worked so hard, but still, it was kind of like a little bit weird, because I was 44 at that time, and I was competing together with the girls at 28 years old age. My body is not the same shape. It's not the same as 28-year-old. So for me, it was I felt a little bit out of picture, kind of. I was trying to bring my perfect myself, but nobody's perfect, especially when the age is different like that. So when I look into it further, 1 year further, I'm like, oh, classic division is better for me because of my age. And I kind of kept it with not just the dieting, I kept it to stay healthy. But of course I gained weight because I was trying way too hard before. So not that I let myself go, but I was more of a, there is no reason for me to alter. I need to be my age, the way I am, because that's how I feel comfortable and the best. So I entered the Classic as a Canada Classic at 45 the following year, kind of in a way. And I also felt a little bit out of picture because I was size 12, 14 in that category. So when the Curve show up, the thought of not struggling, but more of a, I'm going to enjoy this process because life is beautiful and that's what you should do. And all of the, for me, pageants are not, and I repeat, they're not me showing off on the stage as, look at me, I'm the best out here. I know who I am at age 49. For me, it's more, this is amazing sisterhood. I love all the women because they're strong, they're powerful internally. They bring their most with them to show the world who they are. And they're brave enough to do that because so many message me and say, it's amazing. How do you do this? You can do it too, if you will be brave enough to overstep that. Anybody can do pageant, anybody. You just have to believe that you can, and you will.
100% agree with you. It's definitely a lot, like mentally and emotionally as much as it is physically. And if you feel enough and you feel empowered and your mission is to empower other women, then you will always shine that through and succeed. And it makes you, like I said earlier, you level up when you do a pageant. I felt like I changed my game emotionally and mentally. I'm more emotionally stable and mentally healthy than I was because I had to go through a different thought process, if that makes sense.
It's true. That's right. Yes.
And as women,
but
like
also you have to come to it with a different mental set, not oh my God, I don't know what to do here. It's competition. I have to fight with them, or like, you know what I mean? Not backstabbing, but kind of in that way, right? You don't know who they are, and you are stressing out. You don't have to do that at all. You just bring yourself and be yourself, and like, look how many beautiful friendships we created. That's for life. Pageant will end within 5 days. And the friendships
I'm going to give a little bit of backstory. So when I competed for Mrs. Great North in my very first title before I went to China, you wear a country costume when you go on an international stage and you represent your country. And so because I was Mrs. Great North was my title, 2000, and I was Mrs. Alberta, and then I was Mrs. Great North, and I went on to China to represent Canada, as well as Mrs. Canada. There was 2 of us representing Canada. And so I needed to get a country costume. And I was struggling a little bit, and Tetyana had been Mrs. Canada Classic the year before. So I reached out to her, never had met her, and this beautiful woman said, I'll help you. I have my costume from last year. Let me send it to you. And then, so I'm like, okay. So we chatted a little bit via Facebook Messenger, and she sent me this beautiful costume, which was a white full skirt with a Canada maple leaf. So when you open it up, it looked like a flag, and a cropped red top. And inside, she included all the jewelry she wore. Like, her heart is so big, and it was beautiful.
Thank you.
So you learned from your grandma a little bit about designing, and now you are a fashion designer and you make some beautiful, amazing costumes. Check out her Instagram and look at her swimsuit cover up that she had altered for the pageant last year. Like, just incredible talent. So do you feel like, you're welcome. No, I appreciate it. And I love my costume. It's in my closet and I love it. And I'm going to post a picture later for Canada Day. So I have a question for you. So you have walked Vancouver Fashion Week. You've been in magazines. You've been in the industry and working with different designers for a long time now, like for many years. And you do special events with designers and at different little gatherings for women. Do you find that there is a big hole that needs to be filled with a curved division or a plus size division. There's not enough representation, I feel.
There is not enough representation, and it's all market, right? It's all marketing. It's all about the consumption of certain sizes, and as you see right now, I don't know if you're aware, Chanel is closing the door. There is Pennington's closing the door. All of the plus size stores are closing the doors, and I don't understand that, because women our sizes are still there. We're not gone.
Right.
So
no,
I find that everything is moving, of course, online. That's the technology these days, especially with COVID. But I think when I started walking the runway, and the very first show I did was for Gatsby Lady. I have to mention her because it's the one who were featured in the Vogue UK, which I made it to that magazine.
I know, it's
unbelievable. At 44.
Amazing.
It is amazing. I treasure that forever, and I've done
as you should. You should be very proud of that.
It's unbelievable. Like 3 years in a row, I was doing with the group of women. We were featured in the Vogue UK because she's a UK designer. They represented that, which was lovely, and there was few more like Getty Images and the fashion magazine working for the First Nation designer from Toronto as well. So little things like this, it shows that there is humongous market for women because, and getting attention as well, really well, because you can see the whole day of the fashion show on the runway and people are cheering, of course, everybody is nice. As soon as the collection of Gatsby Lady shows on the runway or Leslie Hampton from Toronto, you can see it's people going nuts about it because we represent curves in a very beautiful way. The clothing are sitting on us, not just hanging. No offense to models' regular sizes, but I'm just saying, like, it's a different look on the runway that you do not expect because you're not used to it. And we should be used to it.
Well, and it translates more into everyday life because the average woman is not necessarily.
If you go to the stores right now, I know a few of them are empty because of the situation that we're going through. But if you go to the stores and you go to your section, extra large and more, 1X, 2X, the shelves are empty because they are popular to be sold.
That's true.
That is talking about if there is a need, it needs to be filled. Yeah. But I don't think people are or designers are, I don't know. I think the industry is changing because I heard many little talks in the industry as I'm kind of part of it, especially during the COVID. I graduated from college, even online, as a fashion designer and stylist. Yeah. So that was just my little, let's do it. What else am I going to do when I'm staying at home? But I think the introduction will be happening soon. The changes are coming and good representation we had with
I feel there is more representation. There are some beautiful full-figured models out there. There's some new celebrities that are bringing in different designs, but there's not enough considering the majority of the size is this size, right? Yes. So I feel like Dr. Tracy is very forward-thinking in creating the Curve division so women can come and represent themselves as size beautiful as they are.
And gowns. We look really good in gowns, right? Oh.
Curvy translates well. It's
exactly.
universal, right? And I think everybody needs a place to shine and feel confident. So I just have a question for you. What is one piece of advice that you would give on how to accept and love yourself more, especially because you in the fashion industry, in pageant industry, how do you feel like you have felt where you've come into your own and empowered yourself, and how can you give one little piece of wisdom that you think that other people would take away they could take home with them? And
my advice, it's a long sentence if I create that, but it comes with the experience of the mental set in your head. You have to talk to yourself every day in a way that you're the most beautiful creature on earth for you. Because you live, your soul lives in this body, that's your home. You have to love your home. You do love your home that you live in, like physically, surroundings. You created beautiful pillows and this and covers, but this is actually your home. So when you wake up in the morning, this is what you must do. Every person should do that. Look at yourself in the mirror, naked or not naked, or in the evening, like nightgown, or just your underwear, and say like, look at you. You're so gorgeous. It's amazing.
I love that.
This home holds my soul. How thankful I am to have that. Because some people, they don't. They lose their limbs and they lose so much stuff to cancer. You know what I mean?
It's
you
true.
have to appreciate really your home. This is your home. That's just
well, if you don't love yourself,
because it comes from if you love this, the rest will just follow.
100%. I agree with you. I agree. Like, I feel you need to feed yourself mentally, emotionally, physically. So you need to like be active and eat healthy foods, but also be healthy in your mind and be positive affirmations, and treating your mind as much as you would treat your physical wellness, right?
Absolutely,
like it is 100% a mental game. And if you, it's easy to go down the rabbit hole of self-doubt and negativity and people that aren't necessarily nice, but you are in charge of how you feel and how you react. And
with my experiences, for example, I just will add, because it doesn't matter what size your body is, body positive wise, if you look at it that way. I have girls who are size 4 and 6, and they are showing me a little skin on their belly and telling me like, look, I'm fat, when I'm fitting the clothing on them. And I'm like, did you even look at yourself in the mirror? Seriously? You're the most beautiful woman for your age, for your nationality, or whatever you're doing in life. Like, this is you.
You are the most beautiful you, right?
Insecurity comes, I think, from school. It needs to be taught in kindergarten.
It does.
To do the technique of love yourself the way you are. Yeah.
You need to start from infancy. I agree. 100%.
Yes.
It needs to be ingrained in you, just like manners. Self-manners, right? I agree. I feel that, 84% of women in North America are not happy with their bodies. That's a big percentage.
It's a huge percentage.
Yeah, and it's like,
unhealthy to even think about that number. It shouldn't be that way.
And everybody can have a bad day or a bad minute, but it was a day. It was a minute. It's not your life. You don't have to live there. Do not set up residence there. Move on. Delete, cancel, and be like, you know what? Maybe I was feeling that then, but today I am brilliant, I'm beautiful, I'm brave, I can do this. And just be more positive with who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
Not as much as what you look like. And then they'll go hand in hand, and you'll just look happier and feel happier and lighter, and everything will be a little bit better, right? And then you treat people better that way too, because if you're feeling good, you're doing good.
Absolutely. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you should do is just open your eyes and say, oh my God, I woke up. This is going to be an amazing day. You know, even if you have something stressful coming up, you should not be thinking of that way. You have something coming up. That's the mental game you're playing in your head. And if you switch, as I said, your positivity towards everything, then the rest will follow, right?
Yes, I agree. So I found, speaking to you today, that my takeaway was you just need to, no matter what shape you are, how old you are, just be empowered with who you are as a person. That's the message I feel like you were sharing. If anybody else felt like they took a different takeaway, please post below and let me know your takeaway. I'd love to hear it.
Amen, somebody's saying.
Yeah,
amen.
I like it. Very good.
Me too.
Tetyana, can you share your social media, your Instagram link, so people can come and check you out? And
so on the Facebook, it's Tetyana Golota, and I'm part of the alumni group. It's for the group. If anybody follows, but on Instagram it's Eco Stylist, as a ECO Stylist. And I also have my own kind of like upcycling brand. It's called the Blonde the Brand. So that's another handle. Of course, blonde, even though not natural, but blonde.
You're a brand all on its own. No, that's perfect. Yeah. And so I want to thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate your time and your heart and your wisdom, and I really appreciate you. And thanks for being my first one on Canada Day. We got to represent.
Oh, happy Canada Day to you and your family. Enjoy it.
Happy Canada Day as well. Thank you so much. So then next week, we are going to be chatting with Greta, Mrs. Lithuania, Globe 2019. So be sure to check that out. And so you can follow me at mrs.curve'.globe, as well as Tetyana is on there as well as Mrs. Ukraine Curve from last year's competition. You can check out all of our pictures of us in our gowns and our swimwear. We had a lot of fun. And you can follow me at my personal site at Alicia Plosz, ALICIAPLOSZ. Until then, until next week, remember that you are beautiful, brilliant, and brave, and you can do anything that you set your mind to. Have a great day. Thank you, Tetyana. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.